Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video where I'm going over the equipment for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team with the new edition. But before we get into things, thanks goes to Games Workshop for providing this to review for free. As always, aim to be honest, impartial and constructively critical. And remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a Feeling Killer Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. I am covering all the equipment for 3rd edition of Kill Team. Originally, I put it in the Approved Ops video, but then that video went over an hour, so I need to cut this down. And I wanted to focus on the equipment on its own. So this is actually all found in the Hivestorm dossier, which is weird. The Kill Team equipment is not found in the core rulebook. It's actually oddly not even found in Approved Ops. It's found in the dossier. And you also get a selection of equipment, of universal equipment in your faction cards. You get your faction cards. So the big change with equipment, you only get 4 equipment choices. They are deployed after you have selected your drop zone, but before you deploy your operatives. So you only get 4 pieces. Every faction has 4 faction pieces, and then you have a lot of universal pieces. Equipment's been streamlined. You still selected the same, but everyone selects 4. You'll notice when you see like other factions, some equipment now affects every friendly operative. Some only affects a specific one. So it's changed quite a bit. So I'll quickly go through all the equipment types, and then I will come back with some more tips and tactics. So for the universal equipment, this is technically found in the Hivestorm book, but it will basically be used for Approved Ops. You get it in every faction card pack. So you've got the ammo cache. So remember, unless you're playing on Beta Decima, all universal equipment has to be placed on the kill zone floor. So you get 1 ammo cache. You can only ever get 1 of each equipment. So whatever number it says, 2 times or 1 times, that's how many you get. You can't take 4 ammo caches and so on. So ammo caches, before the battle, you can select up one of your ammo caches wholly within your territory, and friendly operatives can, for 0 AP, do the ammo resupply. So they control and is used during this turning point until the start of the next turning point. Whenever you're shooting, you can reroll one of your attack dice, which is very nice. You cannot perform this while in control range of an enemy operative, and if that marker isn't yours, or if it's been used as turning point. Then you've got razor wire, which is really, really good. So razor wire is exposed but obstructing. Before the battle, you can set up wholly within your territory, wholly on the kill zone floor, and more than 2 inches from other equipment terrain features. Obstructing terrain. Whenever an operative would cross this terrain feature within 1 inch of it, treat the distance as an additional 2. So if you're moving through this, you add 2 to the additional cost. Now, what's the cool thing about this? You'll notice with other terrain features, well, you can place this in front of doors, which is great on open and also into the dark. So if you put this in front of a door, someone has to spend 1 inch to move through the door, 1 inch to move normally, and then 2 inches to move through the barbed wire. So they are now moving a minimum of 4 inches, like they're paying 4 inches from their movement before they move. So this will shut down melee teams. Like you can put it on into the dark on your side of the door going like, yeah, you can come in, you just won't really go anywhere. And it's really good on open where there are key, like either choke points or doors. Because if you put this on a door, like it hurts you going through the door, but it messes up your opponent. I really like razor wire. And depending like if you're playing a movement 5 team, it's really, really good. Very good into elite melee kill teams as well. Then you get your comms device. You set up as normal for terrain features. While a friendly operative controls this marker, add 3 inches to the distance required for support rules that refer to friendly operatives. So if you give someone +1 APL within 6, it's now 9 inches instead. Note that your opponent cannot benefit from them, and the key ability has to have the support word. So for example, like Cole says, currently can't benefit from it because their psychic abilities for giving +1 APL don't have the support keyword, but general comms do. So it's okay. I think there's going to be niche interactions with the comms device, but not in general. But then you have mines. Before the battle, you set it up normally within 2 inches within your territory, more than 2 inches from other terrain features and access points and markers. Well, not terrain features, markers and access points. The first time an enemy operative moves through it, they take 3 + D3 damage and then removed. Note that's friend or foe. This is not as good. I think if you could take 2, so you could select mines twice, I think that would be fine. It's very map dependent. I think it'd be better on like WTC boards where there are more choke points. There's certain parts of Volcus where I think it'll be okay, but I'm not a huge fan. Then you get 2 light barricades. They're set up anywhere within your territory, wholly within your territory, sorry, on the kill zone floor and more than 2 inches from other equipment terrain features. You now just have to, unfortunately, have to pay for them. You're mainly using these on Into the Dark and Beta Decima. So I don't really think you need them on Volcus, but they're okay. You know, they're just your standard terrain feature. Then you get your heavy barricade. This is clutch. So you only get 1 heavy barricade. It's huge. It can cover 2 40mm operatives or 3 32mm operatives. It's very, very good. It's a heavy barricade with a heavy terrain trait. Before the battle, you can set up wholly within 2 inches of your drop zone and more than 2 inches from other terrain features. So you can't really put this on objectives, but the key thing is it keeps bad drop zones safe. So if you're playing on Season 1 kill zones or Beta Decima, this is actually really, really good for getting safe staging points. Very, very clutch. For that reason alone, I give it like 5 out of 5. I love it. It's great. It's big. Does whatever you want. It's just so good. Then you've got ladders. You get 2 ladders, which is crucial. Ladders are exposed terrain. Before the battle, you can set it up as follows. Wholly within your territory, operate against the terrain feature that is at least 2 inches tall, more than 2 inches from other terrain features, and more than 1 inches from doors and access points. I don't know why you put ladders on Gallo Dark. Maybe you're just like styling on the opponent. Yeah, I'm going to beat you. I've wasted 1 of my equipment points on 2 ladders. I'm going to style on you with ladders. Anyway, in addition, an operative can either move through ladders if they aren't there, but cannot finish on them, or climb them once per action. When an operative is climbing this terrain feature, treat that vertical distance as 1 inch. Note that if an operative continues climbing other terrain features during the action, including another ladder, that distance is determined as normal. So you can't climb 2 ladders during your activation for both 1 inch. One you could climb for 1 inch and one you climb normally. But ladders are so good. Like they let you get into key places quickly on Volcus, essential on Beta Decima. The only weird thing is you get 2 fully extended barricade ladders and 2 collapsible ladders. Ignore the 2 collapsible ladders, unfortunately. They're just there for modeling. The other thing is they only benefit as far as they go in terms of this was what was told to me. It's not clearly ruled until it comes to an FAQ. If the ladder isn't tall enough to fully scale the terrain feature, you keep climbing as per normal. So it's like it's not infinitely high. It doesn't extend all the way, which can limit it like on Beta Decima on certain kill zones as well. But that's just to keep in mind. Otherwise, ladders are 5 out of 5. Everyone gets ladders. Ladders are great. Ladders let you fly around the place. Really, really good. Then you've got the portable barricade. You get 1. A portable barricade is light, protective, and portable terrain. Before the battle, you can set it wholly within your territory on the kill zone floor and more than 2 inches from other equipment and terrain features. While it's protective, so one operative can cover from this terrain feature, improve your safe stat by 1 to a maximum of 2. And then portable, the terrain feature only provides cover while an operative is connected to it and the shield is intervening. Ignore its feet because there's outside feet on the barricades to make them stable, which you'll have to ignore. So you can move with the barricade for 1 action point. This is the same as a reposition action, except the active operative can move no more than its move stat minus 2 inches and cannot climb, drop, or jump. Before the operative moves, remove that portable barricade it's connected to. After it moves, set up to the barricade's connected again. This is treated as a reposition action. An operative cannot perform this action while within control range of an enemy operative or in the same activation in which perform the full battle charge. And the other thing, you can only control it from the other side. It's very funny on Marines because they go up to a 2-up armor save, but it's also very good on the Shade Strain, which I cover in the Vespid Stingwing review. It's a niche thing. You cannot move and dash with this, but it can cause funny scenarios, which what I like. So then you get utility grenades. So when you select utility grenades, you select 2 of either 2 smoke, 2 stun, or 1 smoke and 1 stun. Each selection is a unique action your operative can perform, but your kill team can only perform that action total number of times equal to the selection. So you've got your smoke grenade. Place one of your smoke grenade markers within 6 inches of this operative. It must be visible or on a vantage terrain feature that's visible to this operative. The marker creates an area of smoke 1 inch horizontally and unlimited in vertical height, but not below it. While an operative is wholly within an area of smoke, it's obscured to operatives more than 2 inches from it and vice versa. And when shooting at an enemy operative wholly within smoke, you ignore the piercing rule unless you're within 2 inches of them. In the ready step of the next strategy phase, roll 1d3, remove that smoke grenade after a number of activations have been completed or at the end of the turning point, whichever comes first. You cannot perform this unique action while within control range, so Vespid can do this all the time. You have to remember a lot of these equipment choices are just visual aids. They actually recommend you in the core book to use the card 20 mil tokens. So don't get crazy. Like if an opponent says, I'm going to use the smoke grenade to make a weird oblong. Just tell them, no, the core book says, use the 20 mil token. It's just a visual aid to remind you it's there. The stun grenade, you select one enemy operative visible and within 6 of this operative. That operative and every other operative within 1 inch of it takes a stun test. Roll a d6. If it's a 3 or more, subtract 1 from the APL stat. Very, very good now. Because a lot more teams are vulnerable to stun grenades are really good. I can see a lot of people taking 2 stuns or 1 smoke and 1 stun. Very nice there. Unfortunately, if you select utility grenade, you can't select it twice, so you can't go 2 smoke, 2 stun. You're locked into what you take. Then you've got explosive grenades, so you can either take 2 frag, 2 crack, or crack and a frag. Grenades now hit on 4s. They've lost seek, so they don't have indirect. They don't seek terrain. They have saturate, so they ignore cover. So the frag grenade is now 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 2-4. So it's gone from 2-3 to 2-4, but now hits on 4s instead of 3s with blast 2, saturate. So it's actually pretty good depending on certain kill teams and on Into the Dark. Well, and on Gallo Dark because it gains lethal 5 up. Then you've got crack grenades, which are 4 attacks, now hitting on 4s instead of 3s, 4-5, piercing 1, saturate. So crack grenades have actually gotten better. So I can actually see a lot of tactics for running 2 cracks, because if you run within 2 inches of an enemy operative, not only are you hitting on 4s, if you have ways to like boost or get rerolls, you now have saturate. I mean, it's fine. Like even on engaged operatives, it's just very good. But I don't think we're going to see much explosive grenades. I think you're going to see a lot of ladders, heavy barricades on unsafe drop zones, and razor wire with like utility grenades. But that's all the equipment. I've just put it here because it's the most applicable, because it's mainly in approved ops. You find it. It's not in the core ops. It's not in the core book. It's only in the Hivestorm dossier. So the other key thing when it comes to terrain, well, with the new equipment, you will have seen when it comes with the grenades, you now no longer pick a specific operative to carry them. You just have them active all the time. So, because when you see grenades from other factions, like when you see dynamite from commandos, that actually comes from any operative now. So when you're trying to manage the threat range of these tokens, unless this equipment is locked into a specific operative, you now have to manage the threat range of these equipments. For example, before you would go like, oh, I know this operative has the stun, and this one has like the frag grenade. Now, any friendly operative or enemy operative can project this. So you have to be quite wary about that. So managing this new threat range is quite key. And then the other key thing when it comes to is like planning around blocking terrain. As I said, like the barbed wire is really good because you can deploy on access points, at least currently. Whereas stuff like the minefield is only really good if you can make choke points, which is very map dependent and you can't use it all the time. The other restriction is now all terrain has to be placed wholly within your territory, so you can't overlap. And there are some interesting interactions. So like for Beta Decimo, you can put all terrain features on like the vantage points, which you can't do in other kill zones. And in Gallo Dark, you can make some very interesting scenarios. For example, where you put the barbed wire. But for the equipment overview, I do like the streamlining of equipment. I was hoping for something like this, and I'm really glad with how they've done it. They've done it very well. I will say we've lost something for non-Imperial teams, because now it's down to like faction teams. Because stuff like Eldari teams have lost their plasma grenades, but they kind of exist with frag grenades, because now frag grenades are 2-4. But plasma grenades were 3-4. So it's a bit give and take there, but it's not too bad. I think the loss of general uniqueness is covered by the fact factions still have a small pool of useful but interesting faction equipment. And because it's more streamlined, some factions actually are not locked into, but are almost required to take 3 or 4 out of their 4 faction equipment choices, which actually can be quite limiting when you're playing on other kill zones like Beta Decima. And I do like how Beta Decima has been freed up by ladders. Now the fact that everyone can get climbing gear, it makes ladders really useful, so they're better to like go around, getting around the kill zone. And remember, with ladders, you do have to remember you can't use 2 during an activation, like the same activation, in terms of like you can't use both. The other thing is when you're deploying terrain features, you don't deploy them by how many you selected. You deploy each terrain feature one at a time, alternating, which is an interesting change there. But otherwise, I really like it. I originally thought you'd never use frag grenades and crack grenades, but specific kill teams can make crack grenades work. And I found you can get a lot of use out of frag grenades on Gallo Dark when you're playing on Gallo Dark, or if you're expecting to face a team that is going to be hiding in those fortresses on Volcus quite a lot. So there's still use for them. I am finding a lot of usage from stun. Stun is really key, and especially to teams like Felgor. And the heavy barricade, it's mainly there if you can't deploy safely. So it's mainly stuff like Octarius maps, Season 1 maps, maybe like niche scenarios on Beta Decima and Into the Dark, well, Gallowdark, sorry. But otherwise, you're only really using the 2 light barricades on Gallowdark because there's now no terrain on Gallowdark, which I don't feel like is great because it's large open rooms. So it's an interesting choice there. But I really love ladders. Ladders are like the 5 out of 5. Portable barricade is fun depending on the kill zone and operative. I actually really like the heavy barricade. It's really good for deploying safely, especially big operatives. And then also I really like the barbed wire. The barbed wire I'd probably give like a 4 out of 5. It's very punishing to melee teams, and like just doing it on Gallowdark is funny, especially on key doors, because you could just move up to a door and go like, okay, like I'm gonna hatchway fight or whatever, but you can come through this door, but you're minus 4 inches for coming through this door automatically. So good. Like there's so many neat tricks. I'm interested to see how many people use the comms machine, because I'm sure there's going to be some interesting support abilities that's stacked with the comm machines. The only one I really find quite disappointing is just the minefield, but I think that's fine. Generally, most of the equipment is really usable and has unique interactions based on the kill team, which is very nice, and I like that flexibility, and just the streamlined nature is very nice. And please remember, you use the card 20 mil tokens for most of the area of effects. If someone is trying to be really weird and arguing they want to use the smoke grenade token, like the big blooming smoke, you have to remind them, even in the core book, advice is just like a visual marker. So most of the physical equipment I use just to remind me, like if I am using the smoke grenade, I'll put the card token down and then I'll put the smoke token down next to it, so I know it's live, and then I can just remove it when it's done. Like when I'm running the smoke and stun and frags, I'll put them to the side of my kill zone edge, like on the side, left or right, and then, okay, I'm using one, so I'm taking this away. The only downside is you do need another place to store them, so I'm currently looking for a small token box to hold them all, which is frustrating, but it's fine. I'm painting them all up. They're nice. I would have liked like faction, like Xenos terrain, but I'm sure we can just kit bash that now. And yeah, it's just fun. It's nice. I don't think we'll be getting new terrain, like new equipment every year. I believe it's every season, but if we do get every season instead of every edition, I think I'd be down for that. But hopefully in addition, not replacing, but we'll see. I think if this is the terrain if this is the equipment choices universally we have for 3 years, I'm very happy with that. I think there's a lot of depth to explore, and they can obviously tweak stuff with FAQs and erratas. But that's pretty much it from me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought to this video. Did you like the new equipment? What do you think of it? What do you think of the tactics? Have you come up with anything else? Let me know. I'd be interested to hear. And remember, I've got an affiliate link you can check down in the episode description below, and Discord, which you can join for free, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support, and I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my adepts of the crit, I have Tom, Supercow, Steven, Sam, Nick, Mr. Meatwad, Mercenary Q, Lucas, John Thomas, Graham, Fangzu, Dave Meatsworld, Dad of Golden's Chris, and then for my veterans of the crit, I have Samja and Ryan. So thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah, this is video number 6. My voice is about to go. I've spent like 4 or 5 hours recording videos. I have to edit all and paint everything. So I'm very tired. But I hope you enjoy it all. It's really fun. I think there's so much depth and fun to be had with the new equipment. As I said, the secret strat is taking 2 ladders on Gallowdark just to style on your opponent. Putting them next to the access points going, this is my ladder. I'm going to fight you over my ladder. But remember, no matter what happens with your equipment selection in Kill Team, you always have a chance to win as long as you can roll a crit.